Life in Onitsha market was a chaos Chike had grown to accept. Each day began with the sun's rays cutting through the haze of the busy streets. Vendors shouted their wares, children running through narrow pathways, and the aroma of fried plantains mingled with the scent of dust. For Chike, Onitsha was both home and battlefield. Armed with nothing but a makeshift sack and sheer determination, he hustled to carry goods for strangers, earning just enough to feed himself one meal a day. But Chike wasn't like the other hawkers. There was something about him, an honesty that shone through his weary eyes and kindness in the way he spoke to even the most impatient customers. People trusted him even in this world of cutthroat bargains and relentless competition. One fateful morning, Chike's life took an unexpected turn. He was lugging a heavy sack of yams for a frail old woman when he noticed a sleek black car sputtering to a stop at the market's entrance. It was an unusual sight. Cars didn't often venture into these crowded, dusty streets. As curious onlookers gathered, Chike saw a man step out of the vehicle, visibly frustrated. The man, dressed in a crisp shirt and trousers, looked out of place amid the market's chaos. Chike approached cautiously. "Excuse me, sir, do you need help?" he asked, his voice steady despite his nerves. The man glanced at him, surprised. "Do you know anything about cars?" he asked skeptically. Chike hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "I've picked up a thing or two. Let me take a look." "Let me take a look," Chike repeated, his confidence belying the faint trembling in his hands. The man, whose sharp gaze softened for a moment, stepped aside and gestured towards the car. "All right, let's see what you can do." Chike dropped his sack of yams to the ground and approached the vehicle, his mind racing. Growing up in the streets, he had often watched mechanics work and had even assisted a few when they needed an extra pair of hands. Though he had no formal training, he had learned to recognize the signs of common car troubles. Opening the hood, Chike inhaled deeply, his senses sharpening as he inspected the engine. "It's overheating," he muttered to himself, noticing the steam rising and the cracked hose leaking coolant. Turning to the man, he said, "Do you have any water?" The man nodded, opening the car's trunk to retrieve a bottle of water. Chike poured it over the engine to cool it down before getting to work. Using a piece of cloth from his sack, he temporarily patched the hose. "This won't last long," he warned, "but it should get you to a proper mechanic." The man looked at him, impressed. "What's your name, young man?" "Chike," he replied, wiping his hands on his torn polo. "Well, Chike, you just saved me a lot of trouble. I'm Chief Emeka. How much do I owe you?" Chike shook his head. "You don't owe me anything, sir. I'm happy to help." Chief Emeka studied Chike for a moment, his expression unreadable. "You're an honest one. How would you like a job?" Chike's heart skipped a beat. "A job? Doing what?" "I own a motor parts shop. We could use someone like you, hardworking and resourceful." For a moment, Chike was speechless. He had spent years toiling in the Onitsha market, dreaming of an opportunity like this. "Yes, sir. I'd be honored," he finally managed. Chike's first day at Chief Emeka's motor parts shop felt surreal. The spacious shop, filled with neatly organized shelves of tools and car parts, was a world away from the chaotic Onitsha. He felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness as he stepped inside, wearing his cleanest polo shirt. Chief Emeka greeted him with a firm handshake and a warm smile. "Chike, this is where we sell not just parts but trust," Chief Emeka said, his voice calm and fatherly. "Always remember, honesty is what keeps this place running." Chike nodded earnestly, soaking in the words. He was introduced to the other workers, Chidi, Ebuka, Victor, and Chima. They were all around his age but carried an air of superiority, throwing him half-hearted smiles and curious glances. Chike couldn't help but notice the way they whispered among themselves, their eyes darting toward him. "Don't mind them," Chief Emeka whispered to Chike. "Just focus on your work." Chike's tasks were straightforward: assisting customers, restocking shelves, and ensuring the shop remained clean. Though the work was demanding, he found joy in learning about the various car parts and interacting with customers. Each day, he arrived early and stayed late, determined to prove himself. However, it didn't take long for Chike to notice discrepancies. Boxes of parts seemed to vanish, and the cash register often didn't add up. One evening, while organizing inventory, he overheard Chidi and Ebuka whispering behind the shelves. "We'll move the parts tonight," Chidi said in a hushed tone. "Chief Emeka won't notice." Chike's heart sank. He realized his colleagues were stealing from the shop. Torn between fear and his moral compass, he decided to stay silent for the time being but resolved to find a way to stop them without jeopardizing his job. The following days were a test of Chike's resilience. Every glance from Chidi or Ebuka felt like a challenge, a taunt daring him to intervene. Victor and Chima weren't any better, acting like silent accomplices as they helped carry out the stolen goods under the cover of night. Chike's determination to stay honest burned brighter with every passing moment, but he knew he couldn't act rashly. One evening, as the shop was about to close, Chike decided to stay behind to double-check the inventory. He worked methodically, counting each item and making notes. His pulse quickened when he discovered missing parts from a recently delivered shipment. His heart ached as he realized that his colleagues' dishonesty was escalating. Chike couldn't bear the thought of Chief Emeka losing trust in him because of their actions. Summoning his courage, he approached Chief Emeka the next morning. "Sir, may I speak with you?" Chike asked cautiously. Ina Emeka looked up from the ledger he was reviewing. "Of course, Chike. What's on your mind?" Chike hesitated, his fingers fidgeting with the edge of his polo. "Sir, I've noticed some discrepancies in the inventory. Some items are missing, and I believe they might not be accidental." Ina Emeka's expression turned serious. "Are you sure about this?" Chike nodded. "Yes, sir. I've seen things, heard things. I didn't want to accuse anyone without proof, but I couldn't stay silent anymore." Chief Emeka leaned back in his chair, his brows furrowed in thought. "Thank you for telling me, Chike. Leave this with me. I'll handle it." Though relieved to have shared his concerns, Chike felt a knot of anxiety tightening in his chest. He knew his colleagues wouldn't take kindly to his honesty if they found out. The days that followed were tense, with Chief Emeka discreetly observing the workers and reviewing their accounts. Chike kept his head down, doing his job with even more diligence. Chief Emeka knew that solving the mystery of the missing inventory required patience and precision. He devised a plan to catch the culprits red-handed. One evening, he called Chike into his office, his voice calm yet resolute. "Chike," he began, "I appreciate your honesty. I've been observing the shop, and I believe it's time to act. Tonight, I'm going to leave a new shipment of parts in the store. I'll also set up a hidden camera to monitor what happens after hours." Chike's eyes widened in surprise, but he nodded. "What do you need me to do, sir?" "Just continue your work as usual. Don't let on that you know anything about this," Chief Emeka instructed. "I'll review the footage in the morning. Want to know what happens next? Kindly subscribe and wait for part 2.